If you want to look great when the winter clothes come off, make good food choices. Tame your sugar cravings with fruit, a small bowl of whole grain cereal, or even dill pickles. If it's salt you want, try popcorn, but skip the butter. Drink non-fat milk, yogurt, and swap the hamburger for a salad. And if you have to be inside anyway, you might as well take a trip to the gym.
Hi, I'm Mark McEwen, forward on your Otterbein basketball team, and you're listening to Cardinal Basketball on 97.5 WOBN in Westerville, Ohio, your source for Otterbein athletics.
Fewer than 5 out of 100 people give blood. Ever wonder why they do it?
It's the one thing that we can do that we can always afford to do, and hey, you get a snack afterwards. So
snacks are great. I never knew my blood type, and I found out in doing this that I'm O negative, so there's that added pressure knowing that everyone can use my blood at any time, and so I feel like it's my responsibility.
It's a little extra bragging power, too, knowing that you're a universal giver.
Yeah, I'm pretty special.
Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcrossblood.org to make an appointment today.
Hey, loser, give me your lunch money.
But I need it to eat today.
Too bad, you little twerp. I'm taking it, and you can't stop me.
Somebody help me. Ouch!
Nobody's gonna help you, loser.
Every day, thousands of children are bullied at school. The worst part is that it can be prevented. Find out what you can do to put an end to bullying by visiting stopbullying.gov. Don't be a bystander. Take action against bullying. Stopbullying.gov.
Back here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network, the Otterbein Cardinals just about 5 minutes away from tip-off here before we begin at the Reich Center. And these two teams have met earlier in the season so far as the Mount Union Purple Raiders took that one by a final score of 92-82. It was a 10-point loss for the Otterbein Cardinals. However, they did have a solid performance from some different guys that wasn't just Jake Phillips. Mark McEwen led the way in scoring. He had 9 buckets on 16 shots, had totaled 26 points in their last outing against Mount Union. 6 of those baskets came from beyond the three-point line. Grant Fenner, he was 8 of 15 in the ball game, shooting just as well as Mark McEwen did in that one. He totaled 25 points for the Cardinals, and Jake Phillips had another great ball game, was 7 of 14 and totaled 18 points in that one. For Mount Union, they did not have DeAllen Jackson in that ball game, and their scoring was very spread out because of it. It was Jared Ruffin was 6 of 7 from the floor. He totaled 19 points and 6 boards. Cody Dillon was the leader for Mount Union besides Ruffin. He had 18 points on 8 of 16 shooting. Taylor Moore was 6 of 11 from the floor for 15 points. Jake Jakubik was 5 of 9 for 13 points, and JJ Kakura 5 of 8 for 12 points in that contest. And last year, the Otterbein Cardinals lost both games to the Mount Union Purple Raiders by a score of 94-73 in the one at home, and then 85-64 in the game on the road for the Otterbein Cardinals. And coming into this one, the Cardinals still looking for that second win in conference play. A lot of people thought that it may come against the Wilmington Quakers down in Wilmington, but the Quakers were able to slow down Jake Phillips, and that was really the reason for the Cardinals' defeat in that one. And coming into this game, Mount Union, they come off the big loss from Marietta, and this could really turn their season around. They are right now sitting in that 3rd spot in the conference as we look at the conference standings here on the Roush Honda pregame show. And John Carroll sitting at 9-0 and 16-0 overall, the best start in school history, and they've been on a roll as of late, number 17 in the country. Marietta sitting at 8-1 and 18 and 14-2 in the conference. Then it's Mount Union at 7-2 and 11-5, so they're really solidified in that second place spot, because after that it's Baldwin Wallace at 5-4, Capital at 5-4, and Heidelberg at 4-5. Baldwin Wallace on the season is 10-6. Capital and Heidelberg respectively at 9-7. Heidelberg at 4-5 in the conference. Ohio Northern sitting at 3-6. Wilmington at 2-7. Otterbein and Muskingum both at 1-8 on the season. And really looking at the rest of the way for the Otterbein Cardinals, they're going to have to find a way to win another game besides the game against Muskingum. They're going to have to find a way to maybe pull out the victory against Wilmington and then try and pull off another upset if they want to get in the OAC tournament. Right now sitting 1 spot out of the conference tournament. The top 8 teams go, and Otterbein sitting in 9th place in the conference. We'll go to our OAC scoreboard now as we look at the games that will be going on around the conference today. We'll start with Wilmington playing at John Carroll. That game tips off before our game here. That game tipped off at 2 o'clock. We'll get you an update on the score when we go in halftime for the OAC score updates. And then we'll have Heidelberg and at Marietta. That game starts at 3. Capital at Ohio Northern. That game also tips at 3. Our game here, Mount Union and Otterbein. That one tipping at 3 o'clock as well. And then Muskingum and Baldwin Wallace will round it out here this afternoon as they will tip at 4 o'clock up in Berea. We'll take our final break here on the Roush Honda pregame show. When we come back, we'll have starting lineups and tip-off from the Reich Center. Listen to Otterbein basketball on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network.
This is head basketball coach Brian Euler, and you're listening to 97.5 WOBN.
Hey Cardinal fan, Otterbein Athletics on the Radio is brought to you in part by Westerville Automotive. Serving the Westerville area for 20 years, they have 2 locations on Westerville Road and in the Uptown area, just seconds away from Otterbein on Main Street. They're on the web at westervilleautomotive.com. You can follow them on Facebook at Westerville Automotive Uptown or call them at 614-890-6700. That's Westerville Automotive.
I thought I was too old.
I thought I was too young.
I didn't think I had what it takes.
How'd I find the time?
I went into a music store and tried some percussion. Keyboard,
guitar,
bass,
ukulele.
And before I knew it,
I could actually play a song.
why make excuses when you can make music? Just play. This message brought to you by the NAM Foundation.
Hey, Cardinal fans, this is point guard Jake Phillips. Thanks for joining in and listening to today's game. Tip-off is right around the corner. See you then.
Back here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network, and we'll toss it down to PA announcer Bob Kennedy for the playing of the national anthem. here as he inbounds, and it's taken away by Mount Union. Up the floor and penetrated on the baseline that time by Skelza. Goes out top. It's DeAllen Jackson down the lane on the right side. Lays it up. No good off the backboard. Rebound grab by Mark McEwen. Gives it off Jake Phillis. Now up the floor for the Otterbein Cardinals as he comes off the screen at the top of the arc for Mark McEwen. Has it right point. Penetrating now down the right side, and he's fouled on the penetration. That foul's going to go against Evan Kiesler. So Kiesler picks up his first personal and 2 quick fouls that go on Mount Union. So Jake Phillis will inbound from the far side of the baseline. As he inbounds to Brian McKenzie, gets it to Howard. Now near side wing with Jake Phillis. Phillis turns down the screen, penetrates middle of the lane, gives it to Howard. Howard now penetrating down the lane, goes up on the right side of the rim, off the rim, no good. Rebound grab by Evan Kiesler. Kiesler gives it off. Jackie back up the floor, hands it off. It's in the hands of Skelza. Now it's Jackie Beck. Inside, it's Jared Ruffin on the right block, guarded by Grant Fenner. Spins in the lane, goes up with the left hand and puts it in. Jared Ruffin with the first bucket of the game. Mount Union up 2-0, 18:35 to go in the first half. McEwen inbounds to Michael Howard. Howard will bring it up the left side of the floor. Mount Union with a little 3-quarter court press here to begin the ball game. As Howard will get it to Mark McEwen at the top of the arc. McEwen gives it off Brian McKenzie on the far side wing, guarded by Jackson. Top of the arc to Phillis. Phillis off a screen. Now pulls up for 3 from the left point. No good off the back rim, and the rebound pulled down by Evan Kiesler. Kiesler gets it to Jackie Beck. Has it at the right point. Jackie Beck, top of the arc. He'll pull the 3 in front of Howard's face. No good off the back rim. Rebound grab by McEwen, and he'll pull it down and give it to Jake Phillis. Phillis up near center circle, 18 minutes to go in the first half as Phillis penetrates left side, gives it to Howard, but he traveled with it before, and that'll be the first turnover, or excuse me, the second turnover of the ball game for the Otterbein Cardinals, trailing 2-0. Evan Kiesler to inbound for the Otterbein, or for the Mount Union Purple Raiders, as Jackie Beck will bring it up the floor. Over to Kiesler. Now it's DeAllen Jackson on the far side wing. Jackson goes inside to Ruffin in the short corner, guarded by Fenner. Ruffin with the jumper, no good off the back rim, and the rebound pulled down by Brian McKenzie, and he'll bring it up the floor for the Otterbein Cardinals. McKenzie dribbles it over high on the right, guarded by DeAllen Jackson. Off the screen from McEwen, gets it to Fenner. Fenner on the far side wing with the basketball, guarded tightly by Ruffin. Gives it to McEwen in the far side corner. Now McEwen gonna try and back down DeAllen Jackson. McEwen back to Brian McKenzie, top of the arc. McKenzie going in the lane, spinning right side of the rim, no good. Grabbed and pulled down. Here comes Mount Union. Jackie back up the floor. Gives it off. It's Kiesler gonna pull a deep 3 from the left point. Got it to go. Evan Kiesler knocks it down. 17-12 and counting. Otterbein trailing 5-0. Here's Michael Howard bringing the ball up high on the right as he's guarded by Skelza. Howard dribbles it over towards center circle to set up the offense. Gives it to Mark McEwen at the left point. McEwen trying to go down the lane, dribbles it to the left block, and he'll back him down. McEwen trying to spin, nowhere to go with the basketball. Gets it to Fenner. Fenner gonna pull up for a jumper, no good. Rebound by Brian McKenzie inside. McKenzie spins towards the right, has nowhere to go. Tried to kick it out to Howard and lost the basketball. Up the floor quickly comes Mount Union. Here's Kiesler on the right point. Gives it to Jackie Beck in the near side corner. Guarded by Howard, back to Kiesler. Swung around DeAllen Jackson at the left point. Jackson penetrating, kicks it out. Jackie Beck, 3, near side corner, no good. Grabbed by Phillis, and he brings it up the floor quickly. Here comes Jake Phillis. Pull up 3 in transition, no good front rim. Rebound grab by Brian McKenzie. And McKenzie will pull it back out, get it to Grant Fenner, and they'll reset the offense here. As we have 16 minutes to play in the first half, and Otterbein still without a bucket. Here's Jake Phillis, far side wing. Looking to go inside. Now does, and gets it into Mark McEwen. McEwen trying to spin on Jackson, lost the basketball. Now here comes the double team, and a foul is going to go against Mount Union. The question is, who is it going to be on? If it's on Jackson, that's his second personal. It is going to go on DeAllen Jackson, so that is his second personal of the game already. So DeAllen Jackson going to have to take a seat on the bench in foul trouble for Mount Union early in the first half. 15:57 on the clock as Jake Phillis will inbound from the far side baseline. Gets it to Mark McEwen down the lane, right side, lays it up and in for Mark McEwen. The first bucket of the game comes way of McEwen, who had 26 the first time they met Mount Union back in Alliance. Here's the penetration and the layup, good by Skelza. And that is the bucket there for Mount Union. Excuse me, that's JJ Kakura with the finish that time for Mount Union, as he's got his first points of the game off the bench. Phyllis, top of the arc with the basketball, guarded by Ruffin. Gets it to Fenner, guarded by Jackie Beck. Left point, hands it off to Brian McKenzie. McKenzie penetrating, right side, lays it up, no good. And the rebound grab by Kakura. Brian McKenzie looked like he got hit on the head, but no call was made. Penetration now by Mount Union. Floater on the right side of the rim is good that time from Cody Dillon. Dillon had 18 the last time the Cardinals met the Purple Raiders. And the Purple Raiders up 9-2 early on in this ball game. 15 minutes to go in the first half. Howard guarded by Skelza. Off the screen at the top of the arc from Fenner. Dribbling it over to the right point. Now going to hand it off to Brian McKenzie. McKenzie, he's guarded by Dillon. McKenzie gets a screen, gives it to McEwen at the right point. McEwen gonna pull a deep three from the right point. Got it to go. Mark McEwen knocks it down, and Otterbein back within 4, 9-5. Here's Jackie back up the floor. Gets it top of the arc to Ruffin. Far side wing with Dillon. Dillon hands it off Kakura. Kakura at the left point, gives it off Skeltz at the right point. Jackie Beck in the near side corner off a screen from Ruffin. Has the basketball, guarded by Fenner on the switch. Gets it to Dillon, pull up three from the left point. Cody Dillon knocks it down, and it's back to a 7-point ball game. Mount Union in front. Jake Phillips guarded full court by Jackie Beck, but he'll bring it up the floor with ease as he gets it across the half-court line. Phillips pushed off a little bit, but pulls up for a jumper, no good. Rebound grab by Skeltza, and he brings it up the floor. Tried to get it to Jackie Beck and does. Jackie Beck pull-up jumper, no good, back rim. Rebound grabbed, and a foul is going to be called on Mark McEwen as he tried to get it out of the hands of Jared Ruffin. So McEwen picks up his first personal. And that's the first team foul for the Cardinals as Ryan Karapis checks in. Also checking in is sophomore forward out of Bishop Watterson, Matt Hughes. So the freshman and the sophomore into the ball game. Inside pass, and Brian McKenzie was fooled there as they get it to J.J. Kakura on the left side of the rim for the finish. 14-5, Otterbein trails. I want to thank you for joining our broadcast here on WOBN. And if you're watching live on Otterbein TV, for joining as well. Elijah Gonzalez here with all the action from the Reich Center this afternoon. Backdoor pass, Brian McKenzie left side, kicks it out. Karapis, far side corner three off the back rim, no good. Grabbed by Jackie Beck as he brings it up the floor for the Purple Raiders. He gives it off. Three-pointer on the way, top of the arc. Kakura got it to go. Timeout. Head coach Brian Euler, 17-5 as we take a break on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network.
Hey Cardinal fan, Otterbein Athletics on the radio is brought to you in part by Westerville Automotive. Serving the Westerville area for 20 years, they have 2 locations on Westerville Road and in the Uptown area, just seconds away from Otterbein on Main Street. They're on the web at westervilleautomotive.com. You can follow them on Facebook at Westerville Automotive Uptown or call them at 614-890-6700. That's Westerville Automotive.
I thought I was too old.
I thought I was too young.
I didn't think I had what it takes.
How'd I find the time?
I went into a music store and tried some percussion, keyboard,
guitar,
bass,
ukulele.
and before I knew it,
I could actually play a song.
why make excuses when you can make music? Just play. This message brought to you by the NAM Foundation.
Back here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network, the Cardinals with the basketball up near center circle as they give it to Mark McEwen at the left point. McEwen guarded tightly there, gives it off on the far side wing. It's Howard who has the basketball. He goes inside to Matt Hughes on a nice slip off the screen. Hughes lays it up right side and in. Matt Hughes chalking up his first points of the game to bring the Cardinals back within 10. Jackie Beck guarded by Howard at the right point, hands it off. Three-pointer on the way from Skeltza from the near side wing, no good. Grab by Brian McKenzie as he pushes up the floor quickly for the Cardinals. Gets it to Karapis, near side corner. Penetrates, floater, no good from Ryan Karapis on the near side corner. And Jackie Beck pushes up the floor quickly. Here's Dillon, three on the way, short off the front rim, no good. And the rebound grab by Jackie Beck. He pulls three from the left point, good from Jackie Beck as he knocks it down. 20-7 is our score as Mount Union is in front. For Jackie Beck, that is his first bucket of the game from beyond the arc. Here's Michael Howard, has it on the near side wing. Guarded tightly off the screen from McEwen. Trying to go inside now. They get it inside to McEwen. Kick cross court and turned over. Here comes J.J. Kakura down the lane. Lays it up on the left side. He's fouled hard by Mike Howard. Both guys hit the deck. 12:02 to go, and J.J. Kakura will be at the line. First time either side has been at the free throw line this afternoon. The Otterbein Cardinals that we mentioned have not won an OAC game since they defeated Muskingum in double overtime. Trey Miller set to check in. Also checking in is going to be Jake Phillis. So quickly we see some substitutions as JJ Kakura puts up the free throw, and it's up and good from the Purple Raiders. As checking into the ball game now is Josh Durr. And also checking in is Michael Scholl. For the Otterbein Cardinals, again, it's Jake Phillis and Trey Miller. Out is Brian McKenzie and Mike Howard. So Kakura will line up the second free throw. And the free throw is up and good from JJ Kakura, so make that 9 points on the game so far for Kakura off the bench. He's been a guy that's produced off the bench for Mount Union. And early on, he's produced here. 22-7 as Trey Miller's trapped on the right side of the floor. Gets it to Hughes at the top of the arc. Hughes to Carapis in the near side corner as he dribbles it out. Gets it to McEwen in the near side corner. McEwen guarded tightly by Dillon. Trying to back him down. Spins on the left side. Lays it up. He's fouled by Dillon. And Mark McEwen will get his first opportunity from the free throw line with the Cardinals trailing 22-7, 11:42 to go in the first half. So McEwen from the free throw line this season. About 73% as he's able to knock down the free throw and make it a 22-8 ball game. It's football recruit day here at Otterbein, so a solid crowd on hand to watch the Cardinals take on the Purple Raiders as it rolls around and in for Mark McEwen. And the Cardinals now just trail 22-9 as Durr will bring it up the floor for Mount Union. Gets it to Dillon, swung around over on the far side wing with JJ Kakura. Kakura gets it to Scholl. Jumper for Michael Scholl, got it to go. And Otterbein now trails 24-9 as Phillips will bring it up the floor for Otterbein. He's trapped in the backcourt. Now he gets it across the time stripe over to Trey Miller in the far side corner. Miller penetrates and tries to go up, and he's fouled on the right side of the rim. So Trey Miller will now head to the free throw line, and the Cardinals will get another opportunity at the free throw line. As on the season, the Cardinals from the free throw line shooting about 75%. Trey Miller has not helped that percentage as he's shooting only around 33%, but he's able to knock down the free throw there. Cut the lead back to 14. As Miller will line it up yet again for Otterbein. Second free throw up and good from Trey Miller. 13-point lead for the Purple Raiders as Durr will bring it up the floor for Mount Union. Gives it to Dillon over far side wing with the basketball, and now inside. Here's Moore, kicks it out. Durr, three from the near side wing, off the front rim, no good. Grabbed by McEwen on the rebound, and they push it up the floor quickly to Phillips. Phillips dribbling in on the right side of the rim and gets his shot blocked by Scholl, and now here comes the Purple Raiders. Durr hands it off to Dillon on the near side wing. Cody Dillon, and he traveled with the basketball. The Otterbein Cardinals force a turnover, the first one of the game for the Purple Raiders, as Grant Fenner checks in for Mark McEwen for Otterbein. 10:54 to go in our first half here from the Reich Center, and the Cardinals down 13 to the Purple Raiders. Otterbein was in the ball game the entire game that they played back in Alliance, but it's been a rough start for the Cardinals here early on. Handed off to Carapis to the top of the arc. Here comes Hughes down the left side of the lane, and he is going to be fouled. And Otterbein will keep the basketball. It was on the floor. That is the sixth team foul and the second personal foul on Cody Dillon, so he'll check out. With 10:41 to go, Jared Ruffin comes back in the ball game for Mount Union. Phillips to inbound. Looking for somewhere to go with the ball. Gets it to Trey Miller, but he missed Trey Miller, and it goes out of bounds. A turnover for the Cardinals. Mount Union to bring it up the floor. Here comes Josh Durr. Durr brings it across Carty's chest at midcourt. Gets it to Ruffin in the high post, guarded by Grant Fenner. Taylor Moore, three on the way. Right point, no good. Grabbed and put back up by Scholl as he puts it in. 26-11 our score, with the Purple Raiders in front as Trey Miller brings it up the floor high on the right for Otterbein. Miller off the screen, spinning, gets it out to Fenner at the right point. Fenner penetrates down the right side of the rim, goes up, gets a shot blocked, tipped away from Hughes on the offensive rebound and pushed up the floor by Kakura. Kakura lobbed to Ruffin and it got tipped away by Miller. However, Josh Durr comes away with a loose ball. Durr to Ruffin inside and the flush by Jared Ruffin on the right side of the rim. Timeout by head coach Brian Euler, 28-11. It's going to be a full timeout, so we'll take one with them on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network.
Would your business survive a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
On the Cardinal Sports Wrap, you won't hear any of this. Or this. Nope, just two dudes talking about grown men wearing tights throwing around balls. You know, manly things.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
The Cardinal Sports Wrap, playing none of America's best music. Catch it Mondays 5 to 7, only on 97.5 WOBN.
People think saving money is hard, but really, it's easy. It's as simple as changing a few spending habits. For free tips on how to save the easy way, check out feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Back here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network, the Cardinals trailing 28-11 after a timeout by head coach Brian Euler after a flush by Jared Ruffin. Jake Phillips out of the ball game. Back in as Michael Howard. And Brian McKenzie checking in as well. He checks in for Ryan Karapis. Trey Miller to bring it up the floor for the Otterbein Cardinals as he dribbles it over to center circle, comes off a screen, gets it to Fenner at the right point. Fenner penetrating, looking for somewhere to go, gets it to Brian McKenzie. McKenzie off a screen from Fenner on the far side wing, tries to penetrate the baseline, but Moore cut it off. Gets it back to Fenner, 5 on the shot clock as he goes down the left side, lays it up, and it goes out as he put it off the glass, just was unable to finish. Here comes Josh Durr as he gets it to Taylor Moore. 3 from the right point. Moore knocks it down. It's now a 20-point lead for Mount Union, 31-11. Trey Miller will bring the basketball up the floor yet again for the Otterbein Cardinals. Has it on the near side wing, off the screen from Hughes. With the ball at the left point, swings it to Howard. Howard to Brian McKenzie on the far side wing. McKenzie trying to go inside, gets it to Fenner in the short corner. Fenner thought about the jumper, now penetrates the lane, triple teamed, gets it out to McKenzie, who gets it to Miller. 3 from the near side corner off the top of the backboard, and up the floor comes Mount Union. J.J. Kakura, Euro steps on the left side of the rim and lays it in for the Mount Union Purple Raiders, 33-11, with Mount Union in front. Howard dribbles it over on the near side wing, guarded by Josh Durr to the top of the arc. Now it's Fenner with the ball on the near side wing. Fenner penetrating, kicks it out to Mike Howard. Howard to Hughes. Hughes thought about the 3, puts it on the deck, goes with the jumper from the corner, no good, back rim. Tipped out of bounds by Ruffin, and it stays with the Otterbein Cardinals. In comes Connor Clark for the first time in the ballgame from Dalton. And then it will be Mark McEwen checking back in. So both big guys out of the game for the Cardinals. That's Fenner and Hughes that'll head to the bench for a seat. 8:13 to go in the first half, and it's been a rough one for the Otterbein Cardinals, as right now they're shooting just 16%. Here's Mark McEwen spinning in the lane. It's no good off the side of the backboard and pushed up the floor by Jackie Beck. Skelza fakes the 3, now pulls it from the near side wing, no good. Grab by Brian McKenzie. McKenzie up the floor for Otterbein. McKenzie waiting for a screen from McEwen at the top of the arc, now turns it down. Tried to hand it off to Trey Miller, couldn't get it to him, now gets it to him, high on the right. Miller to Mark McEwen at the right point. McEwen hands it off to Brian McKenzie. 10 on the shot clock as McKenzie has the ball driving towards the lane. In the middle of the lane, he's fouled. He'll head to the free throw line, a place that Brian McKenzie very good from this season. McKenzie leading the team in a free throw percentage. He's shooting 91% on the season. So for Brian McKenzie, those are some solid numbers in a season that he's wanted to have from the free throw line. And really worked on that in the offseason. That's been the focal point of his ball game, is being able to get to the free throw line as McKenzie knocks down the first free throw. 33-12 now as Phyllis checks in for Trey Miller. 7:36 to go in the first half as McKenzie lines up the second free throw and puts it through to make it a 20-point game, as Jackie Beck will bring it up the floor for Mount Union. Off the screen, now goes inside to Ruffin at the right block. Ruffin guarded by McEwen, spins on McEwen and puts up the left-handed floater in the lane for a bucket. As Brian McKenzie will run the point guard position for Otterbein. Jake Phillips being shadowed over on the far side. Near side, it's Brian McKenzie off the screen from Connor Clark. Goes to Mark McEwen on the near side wing. McEwen kicks it out top to Brian McKenzie. He'll pull the three. No good off the side of the rim. Grabbed by Ruffin and pushed to Jackie back up the floor. Inside, Taylor Moore tried to catch the pass and was able to save it before it goes out of bounds. Skip cross court to the top of the arc to Ruffin. He'll pull a three top of the arc. No good, back rim. And it looked like it hit the top. As it did hit the top of the backboard. So it will go to the Otterbein Cardinals. Mark McEwen will inbound for Otterbein as he runs over to inbound. Taylor Moore checks out of the game. And Zach Neuenschwander, the freshman, standing at 6'10", into the ball game for Mount Union. The penetration by Jake Phillips, a push is on the floor as Mount Union is called for the foul. And it will send Jake Phillips to the line because Otterbein already in the 1-on-1 situation with 6:40 to go in the first half, as 8 team fouls for the Purple Raiders and just 2 for the Otterbein Cardinals. Phillips, first free throw, no good, and it will be rebounded by the Purple Raiders. So the 1-on-1 situation goes in favor of the Purple Raiders. Jake Phillips was unable to capitalize. Jackie Beck off the screen, pulls the three, top of the arc. It goes off the backboard, no good. Rebound is grabbed and pulled down by Brian McKenzie after it was tipped out. Here's Jake Phillips, pull up three in transition from the far side wing, and air ball, and Howard touched it out of bounds on the near side, and that is going to be a turnover for the Cardinals as Howard was unable to corral the offensive rebound. 6:17 and counting as Jackie Beck brings it up the floor over on the far side wing, off the screen, gives it off near side wing. They try and get it inside, but Jackie Beck gets it at the top of the arc. Now penetrating down the lane is the Purple Raiders as they lay it up and in on the right side of the rim. Fransconi puts it in. 37-13, Otterbein trails. Talked about the offensive struggles for Otterbein, just shooting 15%. They have 3 baskets on the game, 3 of 20 from the floor. Here's McKenzie, kicks it out far side wing, top of the arc. McEwen guarded by Ruffin. McEwen looking to penetrate, pulls it back out, gets it to Howard at the right point. Howard gives it off Brian McKenzie. McKenzie now going to penetrate, looking to go up on the right side of the rim, lays it up, it's no good, but McKenzie gets the offensive board. Pulls it back out for the Otterbein Cardinals. Comes off the screen from Mark McEwen at the top of the arc, hands it off to Jake Phillips. Phillips at the top of the arc, off a screen from McEwen, has the basketball, 15 on the shot clock as he penetrates middle of the lane, lays it up right side, he cannot get it to fall. A rough start again for the Cardinals. Phyllis without a bucket in the game. 3 from the near side wing is no good from Skelza, pushed up the floor quickly by Howard. Howard hands it off to Jake Phillips, top of the arc, McEwen. Now McEwen penetrating down the lane, lost the basketball, tried to pick it up, does, and now we're going to have, I believe, a jump ball. It is. It's going to be a jump ball, and the possession changes as the Otterbein Cardinals turn it over. Trey Miller checks into the ball game for Mike Howard. Ryan Karapis in for Jake Phillips as Phillips comes out of the game. 4:55 and counting in the first half. Otterbein trailing 37-13, shooting 14% from the floor so far in the first half. Jared Ruffin, left point with the basketball to Skelza, 3 from the near side wing. Yes, got it to go, wide open 3, and another bucket for the Purple Raiders. Trey Miller will run the show for the Cardinals with Phillips on the bench as he brings it up the floor high on the left. Miller pulling it back out and setting up the offense for the Cardinals. Pretty stagnant right now for Otterbein offensively. As McEwen penetrates down the right side, lost the basketball. Miller had to save it from going out of bounds on the baseline. Pulls it back now, penetrates the right baseline, and he's traveled. Trey Miller travels with the ball, and it's another turnover for the Otterbein Cardinals. That's 7 to Mount Union's 1. Jackie Beck will bring it up the floor for the Purple Raiders with a 40-13 lead. Ruffin to Skelza. Skelza at the right point, guarded by Karapis. They go inside. Ewan Schwander, jumper, no good off the back rim. Rebound is grabbed by Brian McKenzie as McKenzie brings it up the floor. Has it on the far side wing, guarded by Ruffin. Over on the far side wing now to McEwen as he gave it to him on the pop. Into the high post. Jumper from Connor Clark is knocked down, so the freshman gets a bucket, may be able to get the Cardinals going here, trailing 40-15, as that is the first bucket for the Cardinals in a long time. Here's a three on the way, near side wing is knocked down by Skelza. With 3:28 to go, Otterbein trailing now 43-15. Andre Bradley set to check in for Otterbein at the next dead ball, along with Taylor Moore for the Purple Raiders and Evan Kiesler. Kicked out to the top of the arc, Mark McEwen. McEwen looking to hand it off, has it on the far side wing, gives it to Brian McKenzie as he penetrates down the baseline, kicks it out to Miller. Miller now penetrates in the middle of the lane, kicks it out, Connor Clark. He'll pull a three-pointer from the far side wing, no good as it rattles out, and the rebound grabbed by Skelza. Skelza, top of the arc with the basketball. Gives it off, and the penetration, kicked out Ruffin. Three from the near side corner, no good front rim. Rebound is pulled down by Skelza, and he goes towards the lane, lays it up and in, and the bucket. Count the bucket for Mount Union as they now have a 30-point lead with 2:44 to go. Skelza will be at the free throw line for the Mount Union Purple Raiders. And substitutions, however, we're gonna have a 30-second timeout now by the Otterbein Cardinals, trailing 45-15 with 2:44 to go in the first half here from the Reich Center. This is not what people may have expected, as the Otterbein Cardinals really been playing well, played well against Mount Union in their first matchup, but here today it has not been the Cardinals' ball game. Just 4 of 24 from the floor for a shooting percentage of 17%. They've hit 1 three-pointer and are 1 of 8 from beyond the arc at 13%. The Otterbein Cardinals at 6 of 7 from the free throw line. For Mount Union, they have some pretty solid numbers up on the board. 18 of 33 for 55% from the floor, 7 of 18 from beyond the arc. J.J. Kakura leading the way for Mount Union right now, 4 of 4 from the field for 11 points in the contest. Otterbein being led by Mark McEwen with 7. And nobody else for the Cardinals besides McEwen has more than 2 points in the ball game. Free throw up and good from Skelza on the and one, so it's a 31-point advantage for the Purple Raiders. Miller trapped, gets it up the floor to Bradley on the near side wing. Over to McEwen, far side wing, 3, no good. Rebound is pulled down by Andre Bradley. Bradley trying to dribble it back out, gets it to Connor Clark. Clark hands it off to Bradley in the near side corner. Back out to Brian McKenzie high on the left. McKenzie guarded by Kakura off a screen. Now he's guarded by Moore. Gets it to McEwen at the top of the arc as he penetrates down the left side of the lane. Spinning, traveled. McEwen traveled on the left side. Make that turnover number 8 for the Otterbein Cardinals. With 2:17 here in the first half, the Cardinals just trying to get out of this half with damage control as Kakura has it on the far side wing. Guarded by Brian McKenzie. Now penetrating middle of the lane, kicks it out. Top of the arc, left point, 3 on the way, and it's good. As the three-pointer knocked down by Josh Durr makes it a 49-15 ball game. As Trey Miller gets the basketball and will push it up the floor quickly. Mount Union with the full court press on still. Here's the screen for Miller. Looking to penetrate, gives it to McEwen at the right point. Going down the right side of the lane, spinning and lays it in. Mark McEwen with his 9th point of the game as he's able to finish inside. 132 and counting in the first half as they go inside to Kiesler. Kiesler kicked it to Kakura on the far side corner. Now Kakura penetrates down the lane, no good. Rebound grabbed by Connor Clark and will be brought up the floor by Andre Bradley. Bradley with the ball up near center circle. to Mark McEwen at the left point. McEwen, 3 on the way, short off the front rim. Rebound tipped around, grab by Brian McKenzie as he pulls down yet another rebound. McKenzie with his 8th board of the ball game. Trey Miller off a screen at the top of the arc. Hands it off to Bradley, who penetrates, kicks it out to Connor Clark in the far side corner. Clark guarded by Moore, under a minute to go, 53.7 as Clark got it knocked out of his hands by Moore. And a substitution as Matt Hughes checks into the ball game, checking in for Connor Clark. So Clark comes out, Hughes comes in. Andre Bradley to inbound from the far sideline. As he looks to inbound, gets it into Hughes. Hughes with the ball on the far side wing, penetrates down the lane, lost the basketball, but he's fouled as he goes up. It'll be 2 shots for Matt Hughes. It's like Josh Durr got his hand in there for the foul, and that's exactly who they're gonna call it on. So Durr picks up his first foul of the game, the 9th team foul on the Purple Raiders, and for Mount Union, Allen Jackson started this one, has not seen a minute since he picked up his 2 fouls early in about the first 2 minutes of action. Free throw is no good from Matt Hughes. And with 48.9 to go, Mount Union will take over possession after Hughes knocks down the second free throw. 49-18, our score here in the first half. So they give it over to Kakura on the far side wing. Kakura looking to penetrate the left baseline. Kicks it out to Moore. Moore, 3 from the far side wing, no good. Rebound pulled down by Mark McEwen. 5-second difference between the shot and game clock as Trey Miller will walk it across the half-court line for the Otterbein Cardinals. Miller is not guarded tightly at the guard position by Scholl. And now with 18 on the clock, Miller gonna go. Off a screen at the top of the arc, double team, gets to McEwen at the left point. McEwen, 5 on the shot clock as he looks to penetrate, spins in the lane, goes up, he's fouled, and 1 for Mark McEwen as he's able to get the Cardinals into the 20s before the half. And he'll head to the line looking to make it a 3-point play. Not that it will matter much, but the Cardinals in the double bonus now here in the first half. As that was the 10th team foul on Mount Union. 9.4 on the clock for the Purple Raiders to have an offensive possession. McEwen's free throw is up and good. And if there's a bright spot so far for the Otterbein Cardinals in this ball game, it's that they're shooting 80% from the free throw line. 5 seconds on the clock. Durr hands it off Kakura. Kakura down the right side, tried to get it into Moore. It's tipped out of bounds. It is Otterbein basketball. It tipped off of Taylor Moore after the pass by Kakura went through the hands of Moore. 1.7 on the clock. They get it to Andre Bradley. Bradley dribbles it up. He'll heave it from half court off the backboard, and that'll do it for the end of the first half. The Cardinals trailing at 49-21 as we go to the halftime break. We come back, we'll have the BMI halftime show and first half statistics and analysis. You're listening to Otterbein basketball on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network.
There be many pirates that sail these 7 seas. Barbossa, Blackbeard, Jack Sparrow. But there be only one pirate you need care about. The MC DJ MC. Every Thursday from 8 to 10, he sails for Pirate Radio on WOBN, playing everything you want to hear on your college radio station, The Wild Card.
Today is Saturday. 60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov. A message from USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
I'm Drew Brees, and being a dad means the world to me. And one of the most important things any parent can do is make sure their kids get active at least 60 minutes each day. Studies show that physical activity not only helps kids stay healthy, it can enhance important skills like concentration and problem solving, which can improve academic performance. This means physical activity can help your kids in the most important game of all, life. Learn more at fitness.gov.
Brought to you by HHS.
Hi, fans. This is your voice of the Otterbein Cardinals, Bob Kennedy, and you're listening to the voice of Otterbein Athletics, 97.5 WOBN, your home for Cardinal Athletics.
At highway speeds, the average text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds. That's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop texts, stopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is the Money Man, host of your favorite morning show. Thanks for tuning in. WOBN 97.5 FM, Westerville, Ohio. Streaming online at WOBN.net. That's the Money Man Morning Show. 6 a.m. to 7 live, 9 to 10 replayed. Right here on the Wild Card.
Hey, Cardinal fans, remember that you can go to WOBN.net for a complete list of Otterbein sports broadcast schedules. Remember, that's WOBN.net.
Halftime break. The Cardinals trail 49-21. It's been all Mount Union here in the first half, and want to remind you that our halftime show is brought to you in part by BMI Federal Credit Union. BMI Federal Credit Union is open to everyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Franklin, Licking, Fairfield, Madison, Union, Delaware, or Morrow County. BMI Credit Union is federally insured by the National Credit Union Administration. Looking at our first half statistics so far in the ball game, let's start with the team statistics, which for the Cardinals have been a struggle. 6 of 29 from the floor for 21%. From beyond the arc, they're 1 of 11. That's 9%. From the free throw line, they're shooting 8 of 10 from there at 80%. They have 19 rebounds on the contest, 8 turnovers in the first half for the Cardinals, and they have not led in the game so far. For the Purple Raiders team statistics, they are shooting 19 of 36 for 53% and shooting 40% from beyond the arc at 8 of 20. They've only taken three free throws, but they made all of them and are leading in the rebound category 21-19. 2 turnovers for the Mount Union Purple Raiders in the first half. Their largest lead came in the first half with about 2 minutes to go. They had a 34-point lead against the Otterbein Cardinals. Looking at the individual statistics now, the scoring for the Cardinals, it's been really all Mark McEwen. McEwen has 12 points, and besides that, Brian McKenzie has 2, Trey Miller has 2, Matt Hughes with 3, and Connor Clark with 2 for the Cardinals. Big story, Jake Phillips, 0 of 6 from the floor, 0 of 3 from beyond the arc in the first half. For Mount Union, the scoring a little bit more spread out. J.J. Kakura with 11 points leading the way for the Purple Raiders. He's only missed 1 shot on the game. He's 4 of 5 from the floor, 1 of 1 from beyond the arc, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Kyle Skelza, he shot 3 of 6 in the first half for 9 points. And then Jared Ruffin had 6 points in that first half. A slew of guys having 3 points. Michael Scholl totaled 4, but Jake Jackybeck with 3, Evan Kiesler with 3. Also totaling 3 was Taylor Moore. Cody Dillon had 5 points. Josh Durr with 3. And Andrew Frasconi had 2 as well. And that was the scoring for the Mount Union Purple Raiders, as the Purple Raiders all over the Cardinals at 49-21 in the first half of action. We'll take another break here, but when we come back, we'll have some more analysis for you from this ball game. You're listening to Otterbein Basketball on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network.
Hey everyone, this is Junior Grant Fenner. Thanks for tuning in to today's game. There's more second half action coming right up.
Hey Cardinal fan, Otterbein Athletics on the Radio is brought to you in part by Westerville Automotive. Serving the Westerville area for 20 years, they have 2 locations on Westerville Road and in the Uptown area, just seconds away from Otterbein on Main Street. They're on the web at westervilleautomotive.com. You can follow them on Facebook at Westerville Automotive Uptown or call them at 614-890-6700. That's Westerville Automotive.
Hey Westerville, did you know there is only one showcase on WOBN that features country music? I am talking about Campus Country. I'm here every Monday night at 8 playing the best country music. There's always time for country artist news, and on my show, you'll get to hear the newest songs and unreleased songs that you can't hear on those big stations. So tune into Campus Country every Monday night at 8 o'clock right here on your college radio station, 97.5 The Wild Card.
Hey, I'm Shelby, and I love pop culture.
Hey, I'm Al, and I love music.
And together, we make Top Tunes.
It's kind of like a baby.
But not really.
So tune in every Thursday from 1 to 3 p.m.
Only on WOBN 97.5 and streaming live on WOBN.net.
That's right, Shelbs.
If
If your study time is also snack time, watch out. Snacks can contain huge amounts of fat that stays on your body longer after the treat is gone. If you want to look great when the winter clothes come off, make good food choices. Tame your sugar cravings with fruit, a small bowl of whole grain cereal, or even dill pickles. If it's salt you want, try popcorn, but skip the butter. Drink non-fat milk, yogurt, and swap the hamburger for a salad. And if you have to be inside anyway, you might as well take a trip to the gym.
Hi, I'm Mark McEwen, forward on your Otterbein basketball team, and you're listening to Cardinal Basketball on 97.5 WOBN in Westerville, Ohio, your source for Otterbein athletics.
Fewer than 5 out of 100 people give blood. Ever wonder why they do it?
It's the one thing that we can do that we can always afford to do, and hey, you get a snack afterwards, so.
Snacks are great. I never knew my blood type, and I found out in doing this that I'm O negative, so there's that added pressure knowing that everyone can use my blood at any time, and so I feel like it's my responsibility.
It's a little extra bragging power, too, knowing that you're a universal giver.
Yeah, I'm pretty special.
Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or visit redcrossblood.org to make an appointment today.
Hey, loser, give me your lunch money.
But I need it to eat today.
Too bad, you little twerp. I'm taking it, and you can't stop me.
Somebody help me. Ouch!
Nobody's gonna help you, loser.
Every day, thousands of children are bullied at school. The worst part is that it can be prevented. Find out what you can do to put an end to bullying by visiting stopbullying.gov. Don't be a bystander. Take action against bullying. Stopbullying.gov.
Back here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network as the Cardinals trailing 49-21 to the Mount Union Purple Raiders. And now it's time that we go around the OAC and check out some scores that are going on in the Ohio Athletic Conference. Looking first at Wilmington, and John Carroll have yet to report a score. We'll try and get you a score as quick as we can from that ball game. But of the games that have reported a score, Marietta on top of Heidelberg with 10 minutes to go in the first half by a score of 20-11. Capital is trailing Ohio Northern at halftime, 53-46. High-scoring game there in Ada. Otterbein here, of course, trailing 49-21 in a game that will tip off in just about 15 minutes. The Muskingum Fighting Muskies taking on Baldwin Wallace. That game set to tip at 4 o'clock. Now looking at some of the games going on in NCAA Division I basketball. And we'll get you the full scoreboard here as we get this up, and we'll give you the scores. So starting with number 3 Kansas, they're on top of Texas by a score of 63-52. Longhorns trying to pull the upset against Kansas. Kansas at home in this one. And with 5 minutes to go in the second half, looking pretty comfortable in this ball game. 72-58 is the score of number 5 Xavier and Seton Hall. The Musketeers in front and looking to stay or to continue their success that they've had in the conference of the Big East. Now looking at Duke and NC State. Duke in front of the Wolfpack by a score of 74-64. The Blue Devils ranked 20th in the country with about 3 minutes to go in that ball game. A final already that went final today. Oklahoma defeated Baylor 82-72. The Sooners going to 16-2 on the season and 5-2 in the Big 12. And now looking at some games that are a game that is postponed. Is Villanova and Providence. That game postponed due to weather that is going on in the area, in a tough weather situation out east. So that game being postponed. West Virginia defeated Texas Tech by a score of 80-76. Another game postponed was Temple and number 8 SMU, undefeated SMU. And that game would be postponed due to the weather that's going on in the area of Philadelphia where Temple is. Then in number 15, Miami defeated Wake Forest by a score of 77-63. Tennessee pulled the upset against South Carolina by a score of 78-69. Indiana defeated Northwestern by a score of 89-57. Texas A&M and Missouri tipping off at 4 o'clock. Kentucky tipping off against Vanderbilt as well at 4 o'clock. Also tipping off at 4 p.m. will be Louisville and Georgia Tech. Iowa State and TCU also tipping off at 4 o'clock. Iowa State 19 in the country. The big games tonight, Maryland taking on Michigan State. Maryland ranked 7 in the country. Michigan State sitting at the 11th spot in the country. Butler taking on Creighton as well. Butler sitting at 18th in the country. Arizona and California will tip off at 8:30. The Wildcats of Arizona, the number 12 team in all of the land. We'll take another break on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network. When we come back, we'll have second half action for you here from the Reich Center. You're listening to Otterbein Basketball here on 97.5 WOBN.
Would your business survive a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
On the Cardinal Sports Wrap, you won't hear any of this. Or this. Nope, just two dudes talking about grown men wearing tights throwing around balls. You know, manly things.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
The Cardinal Sports Wrap, playing none of America's best music. Catch it Mondays 5 to 7, only on 97.5 WOBN.
People think saving money is hard, but really, it's easy. It's as simple as changing a few spending habits. For free tips on how to save the easy way, check out feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
This is head basketball coach Brian Euler, and you're listening to 97.5 WOBN, your home for Cardinal athletics.
As a referee, I pay attention for a living. While I'm busy watching the game, I need your help keeping an eye on the stands.
If you see something that doesn't look quite right, tell a law enforcement official.
We all play an important role in protecting our communities, and you can help.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
If you see something, say something is used with permission by the New York Metropolitan Transportation Authority.
Back here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network with the Cardinals trailing 49-21 to the Mount Union Purple Raiders as we're almost set for second half action here from the Reich Center. The starting lineup for the Otterbein Cardinals will be Trey Miller along with Brian McKenzie, Grant Fenner, Mike Howard, as well as Mark McEwen. So that's the lineup that comes out on the floor for Otterbein to begin the second half of play. So Trey Miller will inbound here to Mike Howard and get the second half underway. Howard comes off the screen, gets it to McEwen at the top of the arc. McEwen penetrating, kicks it out to Fenner at the top of the arc. Three on the way from Grant Fenner, no good off the back rim. Rebound is pulled down by Mount Union as they bring it up the floor. Here the Purple Raiders do. Handed off by Jackie Beck to Skelza. Skelza penetrating down the lane, kicks it out. DeAllen Jackson, three from the right point. On the way, no good off the rim, and the rebound is grabbed by Mark McEwen as he gives it off to Mike Howard, who'll bring it up the floor for the Otterbein Cardinals. Howard with it, high on the right, off the screen, has the basketball. Howard looking to penetrate, kicks it out to Trey Miller. Miller over to Brian McKenzie, high on the left, guarded by DeAllen Jackson. 13 on the shot clock. McKenzie penetrating, kicks it to Howard, to Fenner at the left point. Fenner penetrating, jumper in the lane is good, and Grant Fenner knocks down the jumper. Otterbein trailing 49-23. Kicked out, and it's out of bounds. And Otterbein gets the basketball back with 18:54 to go here in the first half, or in the second half, excuse me. Mike Howard with the ball high on the left to the top of the arc. Grant Fenner. Trey Miller on the near side wing with the ball to Brian McKenzie high on the right. McKenzie off the screen from Fenner. Penetrating, going left side, looking to go up instead, kicks it out to Howard, 10 on the shot clock. Mike Howard with the basketball. Howard hands it off Trey Miller, three from the near side wing, no good off the backboard, and the rebound pulled down and grabbed by the Purple Raiders. Kiesler to Jackson at the right point, three from Skelza rattles in. And Mount Union is able to knock down the three-pointer, 52 to 23. The Purple Raiders in front of the Cardinals. Trey Miller high on the right with the basketball as he pulls it back and will set up the offense at center circle. Gets it to Mark McEwen, left point. McEwen down the lane, spinning, looking to go up in traffic and is unable to finish, and a foul is called late. That'll be the foul that goes against against Mount Union as Mark McEwen will head to the free throw line. 17:55 here in the second half, and right now, no Jake Phillips on the bench. So Otterbein without their leading scorer right now, as Mark McEwen is unable to knock down the free throw. But not really sure Jake Phillips is injured or what's going on, but he is not on the bench for the Otterbein Cardinals. Free throw is up and no good, and a foul on Brian McKenzie. So McEwen misses 2 of 2, and Mount Union gets the basketball back. Ball inbounded to Jackie Beck as he brings it up the floor for the Purple Raiders. Near side wing with the ball. Jackie Beck off the screen, looking to penetrate, goes with the jumper in the lane. No good on the fadeaway. Rebound grab by Grant Fenner on the near side. Gets it to Howard, has it on the near side wing. Off the screen from McEwen, looking to get it to McEwen, and instead picks up his dribble. Over to Mark McEwen, who hands it off to Mike Howard. Howard penetrating down the lane, kicks it out to Miller on the left point. Miller penetrates in the lane, kicks it out to McKenzie. 3 from the far side wing is off the front rim. Grabbed by Trey Miller, he puts it up and can't get it to fall. McEwen comes away with the offensive rebound as it bounced out. Fenner on in the near side corner with the basketball, guarded by Kiesler. Penetrating down the middle of the lane, lost the ball. Here comes De'Allen Jackson. Jackson up the floor quickly. Jackson to lay it up in the middle of the lane. He's fouled by Mike Howard, and he'll head to the free throw line with 17:03 on the clock. Jackson to shoot 2 free throws here. De'Allen Jackson's first field goal attempt of the game. Knocks it down. Jackson 0 of 2 coming in to the second half, and that was the first free throw attempt by Jackson. He's 1 for 1 from there. That's his first point of the game. Jackson playing very limited minutes in that first half. Jackson only played 4 minutes. He got in foul trouble and sat the bench the rest of the half. Free throw, the second one is good, and the lead back up to 54 to 23. Cardinals trailing by 31. Mike Howard on the near side wing to the top of the arc. Hughes, far side wing to Miller. Miller looking to go inside, instead gets it to Brian McKenzie high on the left. McKenzie off a screen from Hughes, gives it off to Howard on the handoff. Howard to the top of the arc, McEwen. 9 on the shot clock as McEwen has the ball at the right point. Now spinning, going up in the lane, he's fouled by Jared Ruffin. So Mark McEwen will go to the free throw line again. He was 0 for 2 in the last time he went to the free throw line. 16:36 here in the second half. Still no Jake Phillips on the bench for the Otterbein Cardinals, and Mark McEwen at the free throw line. McEwen's free throw up and good, as the Otterbein Cardinals now have cut it back to 30. McEwen lining up his second free throw, and it's up and good again for the Otterbein Cardinals. Jackie Beck to the top of the arc to De'Allen Jackson. Jackson gives it off to Skelza. Skelza goes inside. Jared Ruffin goes up on the left side, and he's fouled by Matt Hughes. So Jared Ruffin will head to the free throw line for Mount Union. For Jared Ruffin, he's not been there today. He's 3 of 6 from the floor. He's totaled 6 points in the game. Ruffin will be at the line. Ruffin, the senior for this ball club out of Northfield, Ohio. And he is able to knock down the free throw to bring the game back to a 30-point game. Andre Bradley into the game. Out comes Trey Miller, as he'll have a seat on the bench with 16:22 here to go in the second half. Free throw from Ruffin. It rolls in for the Purple Raiders, 56-25. The Purple Raiders out in front. Hughes gives a screen to Bradley. Howard to Brian McKenzie on the near side wing. McKenzie off the screen from McEwen. Now looking to penetrate in the lane, spinning, going up, lays it up, no good. Rebound is pulled down by Hughes. Hughes is unable to finish, and a block is called, though, to be on the floor. The Otterbein Cardinals had the basketball on a baseline out of bounds. 16:02 on the clock. The foul goes against Jake Jockeybeck, as Andre Bradley will inbound from the near baseline, gets it into McEwen in the short corner. McEwen kicks it out. Brian McKenzie, top of the arc. McKenzie with the ball, comes off the screen, has it near side wing. Now looking to penetrate, going in the lane, kicks it to Hughes. Hughes lost the basketball but got it right back, goes with the spinning jumper, and it's good from Matt Hughes. And Otterbein now trails 56-27. Jockeybeck hands it off to DeAllen Jackson. Jackson lays it up right side and in. Nice finish that time by DeAllen Jackson. And Mount Union back in front by 31. Here's Andre Bradley on the near side wing with the ball. Bradley gives it to Mark McEwen. McEwen inside to Hughes. Hughes pump fakes a few times and now gets his shot blocked by Ruffin. Here comes the Purple Raiders. Skelza gets it inside to Ruffin, and Ruffin is fouled by Mark McEwen. Probably a good thing he did, or else Ruffin was probably going to dunk it home and get this crowd in a bit of a frenzy. 15:13 to go in the second half, and Jared Ruffin will be at the free throw line, a place he is 2 for 2 from here in the ball game. So Ruffin, 8 points on the game, as the free throw is up and no good off the front rim. Ruffin to shoot again. This one he is able to knock down. And it's now 59-27 as the Cardinals trail big time here in this one. Brian McKenzie at the left point, over to the right point to Andre Bradley, guarded by Jackson. Kicks it out, and a foul is going to be called again on Mount Union. They've been tagged with a decent amount of fouls in this ball game. They had 10 fouls plus in the first half. Fourth team foul on the Purple Raiders. The first foul on Kyle Skelza, as they inbound to Mark McEwen. McEwen backing down on the right block, double team, kicks it out, swung around. McKenzie couldn't corral it, but he's able to get it back. Gets it to Hughes in the short corner. Jumper on the fadeaway is good from Matt Hughes. And it's back to a 30-point game. Pump fake, Skelza, now he pulls. Got it. Kyle Skelza knocks it down as Andre Bradley went flying by. And Otterbein now trails 62-29, 14:33 and counting to go in the ball game. A 5-team substitution for Mount Union set to come. Taylor Moore, Josh Durr, Cody Dillon. Also into the ball game, put Michael Scholl in there as well. And JJ Kakura into the game for the Purple Raiders. So right now Mount Union gonna get their starters some rest, as this game is handily in their favor right now. Durr hands it off, Cody Dillon. Hands it off to Scholl on the far side wing. Now Durr back at the top of the arc. Now Dillon, 3 from the right point, off the rim, no good. Grab by Brian McKenzie. McKenzie will push it up the floor himself. Looking to come off the screen, and does, off of Mark McEwen. McKenzie into the high post to Hughes. Gets it to McEwen at the top of the arc, and he airballs the 3. So that will be basically a turnover for the Cardinals with 13:59 to go in the second half. Otterbein shooting 24% right now, and from beyond the arc they are shooting 7%, 1 of 15 from the 3-point line. Over to the right point, Taylor Moore spinning, kicks it out. Scholl gonna pull the jumper from the elbow, and it's good for Michael Scholl. He wanted a foul, but not gonna get it. With his team up 64-29. McKenzie has the ball as he dribbles it up the floor, high on the left, off the screen from Hughes. McKenzie looking to penetrate down the lane, goes up, lays it up, left side, no good. Grab by JJ Kakura. Kakura up the floor to Cody Dillon. Dillon kicks it out, Michael Scholl. Scholl tried to get it to Kakura. That's going to be a turnover, and Mike Howard going to come away with the basketball. Howard lays it up, no good. Rebound grab by McKenzie, and he lays it up on the right side of the rim and in. So Otterbein now in the 30s, trailing 64-31. Josh Durr will have the basketball high on the right, guarded by Howard. Hands it off to Cody Dillon. Dillon to the left point to Taylor Moore. Moore to Scholl, who penetrates, and a block is going to be called on the floor. So Mount Union will get the basketball on a baseline out of bounds play. Josh Durr set to inbound for Mount Union. Mark McEwen comes out of the game as Taylor Moore stops the game to tie his shoe here with 12:56 to go. We've yet to see a timeout call by either side. And really this second half has been much like the first half, with Mount Union dominating as Kakura goes inside and finishes with the right hand on the hook shot to give them a 66-31 lead. Here's Brian McKenzie, has the basketball high on the left to Hughes at the top of the arc. Hughes hands it off. No, he fakes it. Now he'll pull the jumper, and it's good for Matt Hughes. So Hughes starting to heat up a little bit here in the second half, as now Matt Hughes totaling 9 points in the game. Ball with Scholl at the top of the arc, over to Cody Dillon on the far side wing. Dillon thought about a three, puts it on the deck now. Jumper, no good. Rebound grab by Mike Howard. Howard up the floor for the Otterbein Cardinals. Howard off the screen from Hughes. Guarded by Dillon. Over to Bradley at the right point. Hands it off, Brian McKenzie on the near side wing. McKenzie comes off the screen from Hughes. Gets it over to Bradley, back to the top of the arc. Here's McKenzie, three, got it! Brian McKenzie knocks it down, and it's back to a 30-point game at 66-36. Josh Durr has it up near center circle, gets it to Taylor Moore in the high post. Moore turns and faces and now gets it to Cody Dillon. Left point three, no good. Tipped out by Moore. Kakura thought about a three, puts it on the deck, middle of the lane. Floater, no. Rebound grab by Connor Clark and given to Andre Bradley. Bradley guarded by Scholl. Bradley off the screen, gets it to McKenzie in the corner. Three from Brian McKenzie is off the front rim. Rebound grab by Hughes. Jumper in the lane, no good. And the rebound pulled down by J.J. Kakura as he pushed up the floor for Mount Union. Kakura penetrating, lane, kicks it out. Dillon thought about the three, putting it on the deck now as he goes inside Taylor Moore. Moore to Kakura, three from the near side wing. J.J. Kakura, and he got it. Kakura knocks down another three, and it's back to a 33-point game as Griffin Robinette set to check in for the Otterbein Cardinals. And a turnover, well, it's going to stay with the Cardinals as Andre Bradley almost lost it out of bounds off the foot, but Robinette in, out comes Brian McKenzie and Matt Hughes. So Bradley set to inbound for the Cardinals as it's inbounded and brought up the floor by Howard. Has it on the far side wing, given to Andre Bradley on the near side wing. Back swung around to Howard in the far side corner. To the right point, or to the left point, excuse me, to Robinette. To the left point to Trey Miller. Miller with the ball. Trying to go inside and just pulls a three at the shot clock, expires, and it's no good. Rebound pulled down and pushed up the floor quickly by Mount Union. Here's Josh Durr at the right point. Kicks it cross court. J.J. Kakura, three, no good off the front rim. Trey Miller pushes up the floor quickly for the Otterbein Cardinals. He'll pull it right back out, though, and slow down the offense for the Cardinals at the left point. Off a screen, gets it to Connor Clark at the left point. Clark trying to go inside, gets it inside to Bradley. Bradley trying to go up in the lane, no good off the front rim. Rebound grab by Cody Dillon. Dillon bringing up the floor himself for the Purple Raiders. Trying to penetrate inside on Bradley, easily does, but the shot's no good, and Bradley comes away with the rebound. Andre Bradley up the floor for Otterbein. Floats in the lane, and it goes off the backboard and nothing else, and the rebound grabbed by Kakura. Kakura pushes quickly up the floor, tried to go with a no-look pass to Scholl, but it's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Otterbein Cardinals. Ryan Karapis back into the ball game as he comes in for Mike Howard. So a young lineup on the floor, 4 freshmen and a sophomore. As Andre Bradley, Trey Miller, Ryan Carapis, Connor Clark, Griffin Robinette, the guys that are on the floor right now for Otterbein. And the Cardinals' shooting performance has really been a struggle. Just 11% from the three-point line and 25% from the floor in the game. Kakura inside, or excuse me, Durr inside to Moore, and he lays it in easy on the left side. 71-36 now as Otterbein trailing here at the Reich. Andre Bradley off the screen at the top of the arc to Robinette, near side wing, goes inside to Connor Clark on the right block. Clark with the ball, trying to put it on the deck and does. Now going up left side of the lane and puts it in. Connor Clark is able to put the free throw, or excuse me, the layup in. 71-38. No Jake Phillips again in the second half right now for the Otterbein Cardinals. Cody Dillon trying to go in the middle of the lane, kicks it out to Taylor Moore. Moore at the top of the arc, over to Durr at the left point. Josh Durr off the screen. Durr picks up his dribble, goes inside, Taylor Moore. Moore jumper from the free throw line is short. And Robinette pulls down the rebound and gives it to Andre Bradley. Bradley over to Carapis on the far side wing. Carapis is fouled by Taylor Moore with 8:33 to go in the game. As Corey Beckett checks into the ball game. Trey Miller coming out. So Beckett seeing his first action here in the game. The freshman out of Worcester goes to Connor Clark. Clark on the left side, spinning, lost the basketball. He's fouled though. It'll stay with the Otterbein Cardinals. Trey Miller quickly back into the ball game. We'll see who he comes in for. He's coming in for Andre Bradley as Bradley comes out. So Trey Miller into the game. He'll inbound from the far baseline for Otterbein, trying to get it into Clark, and does in the far side corner. And into the game guarding him is Miles Griffin. Beckett trying to penetrate, hands it off Miller. Miller trying to go off the screen from Robinette, has it at the right point, penetrates down the lane, layup no good. Grabbed by Connor Clark, and he puts it in with the left hand. So Connor Clark with the bucket, and it's back to a 31-point game. Cody Dillon down into the corner. Penetration by Mount Union, kicked out, three on the way from Miles Griffin, rattles in. He's able to be knocked down, and Mount Union now in front, 74-40 here in this one. 7:45 and counting. Neither side has called the timeout in the second half. Otterbein looking like it's going to be another loss in the column, but Connor Clark knocks down a three from the right point, and he brings it back to a 31-point game. Otterbein came into this one with a 3-13 record, 1-8 in the conference, as Scholl knocks down the free throw line jumper to bring it back to 33. Trey Miller to bring up the ball up the floor as he comes across the half-court line over on the far side wing. Miller off a screen from Clark, trying to penetrate, kicks it out. Corey Beckett. Beckett penetrating, spins, kicks it out. Miller on the in the near side corner, over to Beckett on the near side wing. Beckett, three, and he banks it in. Corey Beckett knocks it down from the near side wing, and it's back to a 30-point game. Kicked out, top of the arc, Miles Griffin. Griffin gives it off, penetration down the lane by the Purple Raiders, and a foul is going to be called, as that's Andrew Frasconi going to come to the free throw line for the Purple Raiders. Cole Phillips to check in for the Otterbein Cardinals, as Coach Euler's starting to use a lot of his bench guys in this ball game. Here's the free throw from Frasconi. It's no good, off the front rim. And Phillips will come in for Connor Clark. So Clark done right now in the ball game. So Neuenschwander to come in, and the free throw is no good off the front rim as Carapis grabs the rebound, gets it to Trey Miller. If you're just joining us here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network, 76-46, Mount Union in front of the Otterbein Cardinals. Otterbein shooting 30% on the game as ball goes out of bounds, much higher than what they shot in the first half. But from the three-point line, 4 of 19 from the field, 16 of 54. And Mount Union much higher percentage, 52% from the floor and 43% from beyond the arc. Durr across Carty's chest at midcourt with the basketball as he walks it up for the Purple Raiders. Gets in the high post to Griffin. Over far side wing, Fransconi inside. Neuenschwander goes up and lays it in. Easy layup down on the block. And it's a 30-point lead, 32-point lead as Beckett pulls the three from the near side corner. No good off the front rim. Rebound is pulled down and pushed by Josh Durr. Durr with the ball. Has it at the left point off the screen. Gets it to Fransconi. Three. Got it. Andrew Fransconi knocks it down. It's 81-46. 5:50 and counting in the second half in the ball game as Trey Miller comes off a screen, gets it out Beckett. Beckett, left point with the ball, penetrates down the lane. He kicks it out Robinette. Robinette puts it on the deck. He goes up and gets his shot swatted by two purple jerseys with 5:35 to go. Checking in now is going to be number 22, Lucas Supayan, the senior, getting to see some playing time out of Medina. Cody Griffin, foul is called as Ryan Carapis knocks down a jumper from the near side corner. Checking out was Cody Dillon, the senior out of Newton Falls. So Carapis looking for an and one situation here. 81-48, 5 minutes to go. And Nick Overly gonna check in for the Cardinals as he comes in for Trey Miller. So Ryan Carapis at the line for one shot. Carapis' free throw is up and good. And it's an 81-50 ball game. And a timeout is going to be taken here by the Otterbein Cardinals, and we'll take one with them. You're listening to Otterbein Basketball on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network.
Hey Cardinal fans, it's Junior Grant Fenner, and you're listening to Otterbein Basketball right here on WOBN 97.5 The Wild Card.
Hey Cardinal fan, Otterbein Athletics on the radio is brought to you in part by Westerville Automotive. Serving the Westerville area for 20 years, they have two locations on Westerville Road and in the Uptown area, just seconds away from Otterbein on Main Street. They're on the web at westervilleautomotive.com. You can follow them on Facebook at Westerville Automotive Uptown or call them at 614-890-6700. That's Westerville Automotive.
Back here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network, three from Fransconi is knocked down. And it's now 84-49 with the Purple Raiders in front here at the Reich Center. Elijah Gonzalez here with you for all the action, whether you're watching on Otterbein TV or listening on WOBN. Carapis' three-pointer is blocked. Robinette saves it, gets it to Beckett at the top of the arc. He'll pull the three, no good off the back rim. Rebound is tipped out of bounds. It will stay with the Otterbein Cardinals. So Otterbein, their struggles that they've had offensively, it's been just a rough shooting performance for the Cardinals, but for the Purple Raiders, looking to improve to 12-5 on the season, 8-2 in conference play. Overly's three got blocked from the near side wing, and it's pulled down by Neuenschwander, but he is fouled. Looks like by Cole Phillips. We'll see. He'll be shooting free throws, the 1-on-1 situation. It is Cole Phillips that'll pick up the foul. As the first foul on Phillips and the 7th team foul. So Neuenschwander at the line to shoot free throws. The freshman, 6'10", short, front rim. Rebound grabbed and pulled down by Overly as Overly brings it up the floor. Overly guarded tightly, gives it to Robinette, who goes inside, and Neuenschwander that time got it tipped away. We'll see who the foul goes against. It's going to go against Neuenschwander. It'll send Cole Phillips to the line. So Phillips will shoot free throws for the Otterbein Cardinals with 4:40 to go in the ball game. As Phillips will be at the line up the first, and it's no good, so that'll be end the free throw shooting time for Cole Phillips as they go to Fransconi. Now it's at the left point to Griffin. Griffin penetrates, kicked it out, but he lost it. That was Lucas Supayan, I believe, who lost the ball. That was Rory Junn, who lost the ball out of bounds. The senior at 6'7" out of Warren, lost the basketball. 4:29 and counting in the game. Beckett gives it over to Overly on the near side wing. 2-3 zone right now for the Purple Raiders. Into the high post, Robinette. Robinette spinning, goes up in the lane and finishes. Good finish that time by Griffin Robinette. Spencer Kendall gonna check in on the next dead ball for the Cardinals. Griffin over on the near side wing now. They go inside Neuenschwander. Neuenschwander kicked it out. 3 from Fransconi. No good, in and out. Rebound is pulled down. And a foul is going to go, though, against Zach Neuenschwander. And Cole Phillips will be the shooter for the Otterbein Cardinals. Troy Phelps also into the game for the Cardinals, as Griffin Robinette will come out. So Cole Phillips will be at the free throw line. The 9th team foul on the Purple Raiders. As Phillips' free throw is up, and this one is good. Nick Root gonna check into the game for the Otterbein Cardinals. As Root will come in. He'll come in for Ryan Carapis. With 3:59 to go in the game, 84-52. The Mountain Union Purple Raiders out in front as Phillips misses the second free throw, but Phelps comes down with the rebound. Gets it to Corey Beckett. Beckett penetrating down the lane. He's fouled, but it's going to be no shot, but it'll send Beckett to the line for 2 shots anyway, because that'll be the double bonus already for Mountain Union here in the second half. And that looks like it's going to do it for the Mountain Union starters as well as the Otterbein starters. And both teams with their second-tier bench players in the game right now. Spencer Kendall will come in for Cole Phillips. Phillips probably done for the afternoon as he checks in. Free throw good from Beckett, so he knocks down 2 of 2. Brings the lead back to 30 for the Purple Raiders. Over on the far side wing with the ball is Griffin as he comes off the screen. Penetrating down the lane, kicks it out Neuenschwander, and a foul as a hold is going to be called on the Cardinals. 1-and-1 situation for the Purple Raiders as Griffin will be at the free throw line. Miles Griffin free throw is up and it rattles out, no good. Rebound by Troy Phelps as he gets it to Overly. Overly has the ball at the right point. Comes off a screen from Phelps. Trying to get it over to Beckett and almost turned it over. And it'll stay with the Otterbein Cardinals as Beckett will inbound it. Beckett to Overly. Overly with the ball, goes in the high post, kicked out to Beckett. Now Spencer Kendall, back to Beckett. Beckett on the near side wing, looking to penetrate, kicks it out to Overly. Overly over on the near side wing to Root. Into the corner to Spencer Kendall, no good. And the rebound is grabbed and pulled down by the Purple Raiders. Over on the far side wing, Fransconi with the ball. Inside, Neuenschwander goes up and lays it in for the Purple Raiders. As Corey Beckett will bring it up the floor for the Otterbein Cardinals. Near side wing, Nick Root. Root to Overly, swung to Corey Beckett on the far side wing. Beckett back to Overly. Overly looking to try and find a way to penetrate in the zone and gets it into Troy Phelps in the high post. Back out Overly, he'll pull a 3 from the left point, got it. Nick Overly knocks it down. 86-57 the score. As on the near side wing and penetrating and kicking out is Supan. He gets it over to Griffin at the right point. 2:28 to go in the ball game. Griffin on the block, spinning, goes up on Overly, no good. Rebound tipped around and Supan tipped it out of bounds. It'll go back to the Mount Union Purple Raiders. And now coming out are some of the Mount Union reserves. So Nick Root will bring it across the time stripe high on the right for the Otterbein Cardinals. He comes off the screen, looks to penetrate down the lane and picks it up, kicks it to Kendall at the left point. Kendall hands it off to Overly, who has it high on the left. Overly off a screen, now tries to go split the double team and lost the basketball. Fransconi up the floor for the Purple Raiders. as they kick it out. And a three is good from the Purple Raiders. Ball is Corey Beckett, who has it. He pulls the three from the right point, and he airballed it. That'll go back to the Purple Raiders of Mount Union. 89-57, 138 to go here in the game. And the Cardinals trailing as they hand it off and give it off now. Kick out, Neuenschwander, near side wing, Fransconi. Goes inside Neuenschwander. Neuenschwander spinning, kicks it out. Fransconi, three on the way. No good from the left point. Rebound grabbed and pulled down by Beckett. So Corey Beckett will push it up the floor for the Otterbein Cardinals across the half-court line. Beckett going in the lane, kicks it out. And here's Blake Kistner. Kistner short off the front rim. And here comes the Purple Raiders of Mount Union. Up the floor, Thomas Mason pulls the three. Good. As he knocks down the three. And Mount Union still in front, 92-57, our score here at the Reich Center. As the spin and the shot by Corey Beckett is good on the and one. So Corey Beckett to head to the free throw line. Actually, that wasn't Thomas Mason, I don't believe, but we'll have to see what number that is. It's not on the roster. But nonetheless, Corey Beckett able to finish 92-59 as Beckett will be at the free throw line to look to knock down the free throw, and he does. So 92-60, Cardinals trailing by 32. 40 seconds on the clock here in the ball game as they give it off over on the far side wing. Now go inside. Here's a jumper, and that one is good from Thomas Mason. So Mason able to knock down the short-range jumper, and it's back to a 34-point lead as Corey Beckett has the ball near side wing with 2-second difference between the shot and game clock. Beckett goes inside to Spencer Kendall. Kendall's spinning, and he's fouled before the shot, but he'll head to the free throw line for two shots regardless with 21.3 on the clock. Spencer Kendall at the line. The Otterbein Cardinals with the loss will fall to 1-9 in OAC play as Kendall's free throw rattles out. So Spencer Kendall unable to get on the score sheet just yet. Otterbein has basically cleared the bench, if they have cleared the bench. So Spencer Kendall knocks down the free throw. 94-61, 18 seconds on the clock. And Mount Union looking like they're just gonna run this clock out as they get it to Mason. Mason goes back to the top of the arc. And Mount Union is going to be victorious by a final score of 94-61. 2 seconds on the clock. That will do it. The Otterbein Cardinals fall 94-61. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have the Ohio Health postgame show with statistics and analysis. You'll listen to Otterbein Basketball on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network.
Would your business survive a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
On the Cardinal Sports Wrap, you won't hear any of this. Or this. Nope, just two dudes talking about grown men wearing tights throwing around balls. You know, manly things.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
The Cardinal Sports Wrap, playing none of America's best music. Catch it Mondays 5 to 7, only on 97.5 WOBN.
People think saving money is hard, but really, it's easy. It's as simple as changing a few spending habits. For free tips on how to save the easy way, check out feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
This is head basketball coach Brian Euler, and you're listening to 97.5 WOBN, your home for Cardinal athletics.
As a referee, I pay attention for a living. While I'm busy watching the game, I need your help keeping an eye on the stands.
If you see something that doesn't look quite right, tell a law enforcement official.
We all play an important role in protecting our communities, and you can help.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
If you see something, say something is used with permission by the New York Metropolitan Transportation Authority.
Back here on the Otterbein Sports Radio Network, a 94-61 victory for the Mount Union Purple Raiders over the Otterbein Cardinals. And we're into the Ohio Health postgame show, and our postgame show is brought to you in part by Ohio Health. Ohio Health is a family of not-for-profit, faith-based hospitals and healthcare organizations serving Central Ohio since 1891. For individual physicians or overall healthcare, they're on the web at ohiohealth.com. That's ohiohealth.com or 614-4HEALTH, 614-4-HEALTH. And now looking at the statistics for both sides here. First for the team statistics for the Otterbein Cardinals, they shot 20 of 66 from the floor for a total of 30%. 5 of 26 from beyond the arc. Most of these three-pointers coming in the second half as they shot 1 of 8 in the first half. 19% from the Cardinals from beyond the arc. 70% from the free throw line. Otterbein did win the rebounding battle. They had 16 offensive rebounds and had 43 rebounds on the game. They also won the turnover battle. 12 turnovers for the Otterbein Cardinals, just 5 for the Mount Union Purple Raiders. Looking at the individual statistics quickly now for the Otterbein Cardinals, it was leading the way was Mark McEwen, 14 points, 4 of 8 shooting for the Otterbein Cardinals. Matt Hughes behind him at 9 points on the contest. Brian McKenzie at 7 points. Corey Beckett had 8 off the bench. Connor Clark also totaled 9 in the game as well. The big story, Jake Phillips did not play in the entire second half, and he was held to 0 points in the ballgame, was 0 of 6 from the floor. For Mount Union, it was Kyle Seltsta that had 15 points, and J.J. Kakura that totaled 16. That was their double-digit scorers in the ballgame. Jared Ruffin had 9. Also adding points was Fransconi, and a slew of players had 3 points in the ballgame. Having 5 was Taylor Moore as well, but that was the majority of the scoring, was the scoring that came from J.J. Kakura and Kyle Seltza. Well, that's going to do it for us here from the Reich Center. Once again, our final score, 94-61 in favor of the Mount Union Purple Raiders. Our next broadcast will come on Wednesday as we'll travel to Ada to watch the Otterbein, or to listen to the Otterbein Cardinals take on the Ohio Northern Polar Bears. Well, for our entire crew on Otterbein TV and for our board op, Justin Roberts, I want to thank you for joining us here on the broadcast of WOBN 97.5 The Wild Card. I'm Elijah Gonzalez saying so long until next time.